morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco, coming to you from Eastern Tennessee. Welcome. Happy Thursday, the last Thursday in July for the last day of the Viva show in July. So welcome to What Do You See Now, ending our month of potentials and possibilities.
Buenos días, mi gente. Happy Thursday. Yes, the last Thursday of the month. It's kind of scary when people are just making 4th of July plans. Yes, this is very exciting here. I'm talking to you from where? My sister's kitchen in Connecticut. It's a bit gloomy this morning, but it's supposed to be in the 90s. So you got to suck it up, buttercup. Better than Florida, I'll tell you that much, because it's cool out now. But yes, it is the last show of the month. So let's make it do what it do.
Cool.
Buenos días. Good morning. Namaste. Bendiciones.
Good morning.
I'm tired.
Are you? Oh, drink that coffee. Why are you tired?
Because it's like I didn't they shampooed the rugs down in the basement. Yeah. And they still haven't dried. The guy said it'll take like 6 hours, but then we got a huge rainstorm, which, even though the basement's set up like a movie theater room and it's real nice, still the basement. So I slept on this couch here, and it's just not comfortable. So I sat up, half down type of thing.
Yeah.
This morning I'm doing my yoga just to get the kinks out of my back so I could walk straight. But again, you make it do what it do. You do the best you can with what you have, and here we are. But I am tired. Good morning, Madeline Hernandez Lopez. Buenos dias. So yeah, that's that. But and this is, let's get to this. What, mantra time?
Yes, let me just write.
This was Tuesday.
Geez, I can't stand that. I can't. All right, there we go.
Did I save that?
All right, so yes, let's do our let's set our intention. We'll do our mantra, and then we'll get to chatting. Don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe. Let people know that you're here, and this way that we can all work together and enjoy this time together, and also empower each other. So let people know that you're here. All right. Intention. Miggy-san, good morning, Migdalia. Remember that setting an intention is not a hard task. It's very easy to do. You just have to decide to do it. And intention, sometimes people get caught up on that word, just means have a purpose to your day. Decide, I'm going to do this today, or I'm going to be this way today, or I'm going to live my day this way. And then go from there and just create that. And if whatever intention you set isn't working out exactly the way you want it to, you can change it. Or maybe the intention you set, you've already accomplished it, or you've moved above and beyond that, then create a new one for the day. But to go in with a purpose every single day, and even if your purpose is, I just want to lay around and do nothing today because I'm just so tired and I have the day off and I can do whatever I want, that's still an intention.
Mm-hmm.
And what would we like to follow that intention with, Gladiator Guru?
With gratitude. Be grateful that you can walk to the couch, grab the remote, move your fingers around to get, things that we don't even think about. And when somebody brings it up to you, it's not that serious. It is. Be intentionally grateful that you have a choice to do whatever the hell it is you want, and the movement to get it done. Whether it's sitting on the couch, flipping with the remote, or on your phone, whatever it may be, you have the ability to walk, talk, move your fingers, wipe your own ass. Many do not have that. So do everything with intention and do it with gratitude in your heart.
You know what? Let's talk about that for a second, because you're right. Gratitude is really, it's a energy shifter. And we take things for granted. I mean,
Yes.
seriously, like wiping your own ass. When the day that your back hurts so much that you cannot turn and twist
Yes.
around, and then that's when we are always grateful to say, "Oh my God, I'm so grateful that I can wipe my own ass."
Because we are so held hostage by our negative thoughts about people, places, and things that we leave little to no room of gratitude for self. That no matter what it is we're going through, no matter how broken and shattered our hearts are, no matter how ill our stomach feels because of something that thought that we keep reminding ourselves, regurgitating something awful, that it makes us sick to our stomach. But we are the ones that get ourselves up every morning, whether we have the energy, whether we want to go to work, whether we get ourselves up, we walk ourselves to the bathroom, we take our shower. We are brilliant in our darkest moments because we still get up and do what we have to do. So let's focus more on the rest of today. Be intentional with what great things you can service yourself with. Simple things like blowing your nose. You know how many people can't blow their nose? Seriously. My mom with dementia forgot to blow how to blow her nose. Eric with his paralysis couldn't blow his nose. When my back is really bad, I can't even blow my nose because it's like there's a string connected to my nose and my back that yanks. And I'm like, ah. Let's just be grateful. And I'm bringing that up because gratitude, and when you do it with intention, can take you so much further away than your pain and discomfort.
Yep. And with that, but based on all of that, we have our mantra. Mantra is there not just to let us hear ourselves talk. Our mantra is there. It's like a battle cry. It's to remind you, to wake you up to your power, to your potential, the possibilities. And so we have to sit there and we have to really focus. When you are feeling kind of low, think of this mantra. Let us know that you say this mantra periodically. It's really nice to know that you do. All right, so here we go. We're going to say it together. Ready? I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I keep it real.
All day, no doubt, mi gente. Walk in your truth, no matter if you're walking alone.
Yes. Yeah. So we're ending our month of potentials and possibilities. We talked on Tuesday about seeing beyond, and now we want you to take that and say, what am I seeing now? If I was deciding, okay, I want to go on a trip, I want to travel more, and then you start listing the places that you want to travel to, how about go beyond that? What would be what we mean by that would be to say, okay, I would like to travel. Okay, where would you like to travel to? Well, I've always wanted to go to Europe. Okay, where do you want to go in Europe? Well, I would like to go see this country, this country, this country. Okay, go beyond. What if you did that all in one shot? What if you took a whole month off and went traveling for, through Europe and started in Spain and then went to France and then, or went to Portugal, Spain, France, like all these things. That's what we're trying to get you to do, is not just create, but create above and beyond what you could even see. Why is that important? Because we can create. We're not bad at creating. We're not bad at coming up with ideas. We are bad at following through.
Executing them.
Executing them, exactly.
I'm a billionaire with my ideas. What you tell?
But what happens is that we fall short because sometimes it's almost like too simple. Mm-hmm. Like we'll say, oh, I'm going to travel and I'm going to go to Europe, and that's where you leave it. But when you start saying, well, what am I going to go see in Europe? What would I like to go view? And then you start, putting together this sort of like little itinerary, not like day to day. I mean, just I would like to go here, and I would like to sip coffee at this location, and I would like to go tour this. When you start looking at that bigger picture, then all of a sudden you come to the realization like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to be there for a month. I can't do all of that in 1 week. I got to be there for, I can't even do that in 2 weeks. Okay, great. So then go for a month. I can't go for a month. Why not? Why not? Why can't you take 4 weeks off? Okay, maybe your job won't let you. What if you worked out something? What if you said, I'm gonna save my days and I'm gonna talk to my employer and I'm gonna see if I can schedule it in such a way. And you may not still get 4 weeks off, but maybe you can get 3 weeks off. You see where we're going with this? It's seeing beyond. And then now what do you see? So we asked you on Tuesday to see beyond what you have been wanting to do. Like, see what you want to do and then see beyond that. And then now we're asking, what is it that you see? What is truly possible for you? What is your potential? And it's interesting because it was so funny. We had this conversation on Tuesday. We've been having this conversation for the entire month. So Tuesday, I had one of my clients. I have work with her every like 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. And we're talking about, and I asked her a question on, like, that was one of her assignments. And she says, I really have a rough time with the word possibility, like, and when people make statements like anything and everything is possible. So I heard what she had to say. And I said, well, you're not wrong. I said, because really technically, not everything is possible. If you say, I'm going to jump off this 8-story building because I think it's possible that I can fly, you're going to go splat onto the ground because you are not a bird, right? So you're right. Not everything is possible. But what it means is it gets you to think outside the box. It's saying, okay, that's how people started to make planes in the first place. They said birds could fly. So if you look at all of those people that started to create things, they were creating wings and they did all these things to help them get off and fly in the air. But it took a lot of tries and it took a lot of different ideas. But that's the whole point, is that maybe not in the exact context. But if you say, I want to fly, say, well, I want to get on a plane, or I want to get my own pilot's license. So what I said to her was, you have to think of what's important to you, and you have to think about the things that you want in your life, and then say, I know it's possible to have these things. Mm-hmm. I'm the one that's limiting myself. I said, like, another one is, you could say, oh, I wish I was 25 again. We know that's not possible. You cannot go back to being 25 years old. But I said, you could look like you're 25. You could get a good plastic surgeon and you could look like you're 25. You could start working out and get in better shape so that you have the stamina of a 25-year-old, so you won't be 25 and you may not like be exactly like you were at 25, but I wouldn't want to be how I was at 25 because I was an idiot at 25. I like the brain that I have now. So yes, there's certain things that you could say, like when people say anything is possible, that's not true. But we're saying is what's possible for you, what's important for you, and you have to have that clarity to say, this is what's important to me. This is what's possible, and I have the potential to do it. What's possible for Gladiator Guru is not necessarily, I mean, it's possible for me, but that doesn't mean I want to do it. So, she and I have talked about it, and, I think she and I would have a phenomenal time hiking the Camino together. I think that, like, just the two of us, I think she would really, like, we would really enjoy ourselves, because part of it is that both of us know the reason for it. So if she wants her own space, I'm not going to take offense to it. Like if I'm wanting to walk faster, she's not going to take offense to that. And then there'll be days where we would walk together and we might actually speak and might talk about what we're learning and things like that. But anything goes because we know that possibility. So I would love to do it with her. I would love for her to show me what she's done, because that'd be exciting for me to experience the fact that she's done this before and it'd be my first time. And if it never happens, it's not that big of a deal. But if it happens, it'd be the coolest thing.
Well, The saying I'm familiar with is that you can do anything you set your mind to. You just shouldn't do everything. And because exactly what you just said, what you do and what I do are different. We have different circumstances. I don't have small children. You do. I don't have a direct family I got to worry about and make decisions according to like mothers do. Good morning, Leanne. Good morning, Milagritos. Um, but I think that what she said, it was a mouthful. We can go hiking together and we're not going to be in step every day with one another. Um, but the thing is that the desires and the wanting of having an experience of sharing energy in such a place will is the same. You know, that's having the same mindset of we're going to do this, let's experience this. But everybody, we all can look at the same thing and come up with different explanations or different opinions about it. So, you know, just because, like when they say you can do anything, but most of the time, I'm going to say 4 out of 5 people want to do something because they read about it, they saw it on social media, or somebody they know is doing it. So you shouldn't, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you should, because you need to live according to your energy, to your spirit,
Yes.
to how far your limits are. And sometimes we cut our own rope just to be side by side with somebody who doesn't want to expand in any part of their lives. So seeing beyond what you see is something that you have to face. That is facing and walking in your truth. That is saying, oh my God, I can go that extra 10 kilometers today. I thought I couldn't
Yes.
because, because. So when you decide to live the one life that you have without pussyfooting around excuses or people or second guessing your own decisions that hold you back, and then you're miserable, then you're falling back, you know, when you decide to take charge of your life and see it for what it is, a bountiful river, roaming river of possibilities, then and only then will you come alive.
Yeah.
So well, for those people who speak about being unhappy, not being able to fulfill this dream, they had a goal, but then life got in the way. It's your life. What did you allow? You know how many people I know that my kids, I tell you, when I said I'm out, we're out. And they've experienced different kids from different schools, different parts of town living, going on vacation because I felt like it. Let's go. Okay. I didn't say, oh my God, but I don't want to disrupt them because what if they have, no, fuck that. We going because they needed to experience something different.
Yes.
They needed to know that it's okay to move every year, which means you're in a different school, which means you're meeting different people, which means when you're an adult, you'll be able to read body language. You'll be able to sense energy a mile away, which means that you may not have liked it then, and I may not have been fully aware of then what was happening. But what was happening was I was teaching you evolution, because everything changes and you must grow with it. And you must accept where you are in any given moment, because it is when you accept the fact that you are there that it is then you can fully look around and act accordingly. And then you
Yep.
see yourself for who you really are when you're in a dilemma, a crisis, or in a festive mood, how you are learning to behave with yourself to the circumstances in which you just placed yourself in. You see that accountability? You. Go ahead.
You know, again, what are we talking about here? We're talking about what do you see now? It's waking yourself up to saying, you know what? I have been limiting myself and no more. No more.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's every excuse that I have used to this at this moment in time, my age, my finances. Okay, finances are a big one, and that is a decent excuse for a lot of people. But sometimes when you start asking around, when you say, okay, I only have, $500 that I can play with here, and I really want to go to this place, start inquiring. Like when Gladiator Guru talked about going on the Camino, she had very limited money. And
I went with very limited money.
She went with very limited money. And the thing is that people who do those things, they stay in areas that are very inexpensive. They stay in hostels and things like that. And if you are a person who has to have grandeur, has to have very bougie, has to have certain things a certain way, then that's not going to work for you. So even if you're saying, I want to save money, but I don't have that much money, but I can't sleep in a room with a whole bunch of people, I can't wait in line for a shower, then you're limiting yourself. Now legit, we're not telling you to do it. We're saying that, but you're clear on it. You say, okay, you know what? That works for other people. That's not going to work for me. So then what's the next step? That's what we mean by seeing beyond, but then what do you see now? If you're saying I have $500 to spend, what can I do with the $500? How can I make that stretch as much as possible? Maybe I just share a room with one person and then it's a little bit cheaper. Then it's not like 10 people or 20 people that I'm sharing a space with. It's one person. Maybe I can ask, hey, listen, is anybody going away? I really would love to take a visit to Arizona. I've always wanted to go there. Do I know anybody, or do I know anybody that knows somebody that lives there that maybe they're going away and they need a house sitter, or maybe they need a dog sitter or something like that? And then all of a sudden, now it's like you are, you're thinking outside the box and allowing that $500 to stretch more, or you could be that individual who says, you know what, I have so much crap in my house, I can sell it. I don't need all this stuff anymore. I can sell it. And all that money is going to go to my travel fund, or things like that. Or maybe I could start making things and then sell them. But that's what we mean is you have unlimited potential. When we sit and we do our routine every single day, and we come home from our job and we cook our dinner and then we wash the dishes and then we complain about this and we sit down in front of the TV while we're scrolling through our phone on social media, where do we leave room for anything new? Nowhere. We've got to get out and explore. We've got to get out and turn things off. Do something so different from your routine. If you get home from work, say, I'm just going to heat up some food and I'm going to sit outside tonight. And I'm going to sit with my pad and paper. I'm going to think about possibilities, things that I want to do in my life. And I'm going to give myself a time frame. Say, okay, I want to achieve all these things within the next 12 months. Not my bucket list and say, oh, well, it's my bucket list. The problem I have with the bucket list is it's almost like saying, I want to do these before I die, with the assumption that I'll have about 15 to 20 years to do this. I almost want to do my bucket list in 2 years. I want to create a bucket list and then do it all in 2 years and then create a new bucket list.
I think people who create their own excuses. When I decided to do the Camino, I hadn't been working because my mother had just died the year before. I was just getting together. Let me tell you, where there's a will, there's a way. And anything it is, whether you want to go back to school, but you have absolutely no money and your credit's not so good, but you got good grades, so you can go and see and figure something out. There's nothing you cannot possibly do but your own sorry ass excuses. When you decide, I'm going to make a change and I'm going to move back home like I am. Okay, all I have, whatever I'm bringing with me when I do come, is whatever fits in my car. I'm not shipping shit. I'm not storing shit. If I had it, I enjoyed it while I had it, and that was it. What happens is we want to hold on to things, and then we want to use people as excuses as to why we can't jumpstart our goals at that moment.
Yes.
When we had a show on Captain Save-A-Hole. So when you don't do what you want to do, when you can do it because you don't want to do it or you're afraid, so keep procrastinating another month, and maybe mid-month, and maybe that month, and you can't, because everybody who you're procrastinating for is doing exactly what they want with their lives in that moment going forward. You're the only one postponing, rescheduling, and pausing your life. Now,
Yes.
I haven't seen Edie. Have you seen Petey on here yet? My
No,
cousin
but isn't
Margaret.
she away?
She done pissed me off, but that's a whole other story. In the midst of our planning, she scheduled a whole different thing that would bring her back here. And so I had to deal with that because that is what she wanted. And for whatever reason that she said she forgot, when she said, yeah, I have to honor that, because then that means she didn't really want to do what we have planned to do. So I have to honor that, because when you want to do something, you do it.
That's her path.
You don't forget that you're in the midst of being in Italy and you plan a trip to Florida. Like, it doesn't make sense. Help me make it make sense. So what do? You say, okay, I'm going to continue on with my plan solo. Anybody else would have said, I can't believe this. I'm not upset with her. That is, we're going to do what we're going to do in the beginning. She's going to fly back. I'm going to continue my solo trip. Why? Because that's what I want. Why is she discontinuing her journey? Because that's what she wants. And we must know that for us to progress in life in any direction that we choose to travel, then we got to follow through with ourselves. So there's no angry at anybody else's decision, because you meet people exactly where they're at and you continue with your goals and your plans and your visions and your destinations. That's the beautiful part of it. It's not what they're doing or what they're refusing to do. And it took me on, but like an hour and a half to get it out my system and sit and strategize my itinerary. Why? Because obviously God in the universe is telling me that trip, the latter part of it, is solely for me. So whoever I meet, don't meet, whatever I experience, don't experience, it was for my eyes only. When you turn that negative thinking up, I can't believe blah blah, and I spoke it to her and I got it out of the system, that there's nothing you cannot do. There's only things you choose not to, by dressing it up as an excuse and by putting, but so and so, but so and so, but then this. So you can see beyond what you see if you believe that you are capable of accomplishing whatever goal you set out to do. When you cut it short with an excuse, you're cheating yourself. It's not people, places, and things. It is you and your fear. Whether it's the unknown or whether it's like, oh my God, I'm taking this big leap, but I'm kind of afraid, so I'm going to ease into it slowly. I've always lived, when we fell and got hurt as children, and I did it to my children, and I was accused, and I tried to do it to my granddaughter the other day, and I was like, I can't believe you're going to do that. We would fall and get her. Remember, we lived in Concrete City. We lived in Father Panic. We fell. We got cut open skin. So what happens? My father will pour alcohol right on the wound.
Yeah, my mother did too.
And people said, like, now they would think that's child abuse. That was the best thing that I learned as a child, was that pull the fucking Band-Aid off, rip it off. All this little, okay, wait, just a little bit more. What are you prolonging? So you're going to feel pain with each piece of hair that the Band-Aid takes off? Rip it off. Rub it. Boom, you're done. On to the next thing. When you want to do everything pasito a pasito, you're just delaying the inevitable. And then when you reach that place you always wanted to be at, now you're backspacing because you're second guessing your decisions. And now you're letting the fear take over and you're postponing what's supposed to happen on God's time and you think you're in control, and that makes me laugh. So that's why when I get upset now in this age in my life, I see it for what it is, and I back the fuck up and I make my own decisions. Because things aren't always what they seem, but you have to figure it out. Do I want to be here or not before I waste any time investigating? Because it's ultimately always about you.
And the time is the issue. You'll never get that back. I mean,
Never.
I look at my life, and so here I am, in Tennessee. I'm here till the end of the month. I go back for September, and and then September's going to go by very quickly. I prepare for my oldest daughter's wedding, and then we're out mid-October. That's it. We're gone. We're down here, and that's it. And what's interesting is, since I've been here in, I think, 2 weeks now. Or actually like a little over a week and a half. I'm starting to realize like all these possibilities down here, things that I had not thought about, things that I did think about, and there's so many. Right now, there's so many possibilities available. Like even just investment properties, the idea of creating, like buying things that people could rent through Airbnb, and looking at the little areas in the towns and seeing how things are building up and seeing which areas are really congested because they've been overbuilt up, and then what's the possibility for this area, and so on and so forth. And I love it. Like in my head, I'm thinking, God, what can I create within the next 5 years? That's the goal, is what can I create for myself and my family within the next 5 years. And I'm so happy that I'm here, like I'm so happy to be in this area. When you get out of where you are, you really do gain more clarity because you're out of that minutia. You get away from that cloudiness of your environment. And what's funny is I really don't even want to go back. Like, I know I have to go back. I have a lot to do, but now I'm in my head going, God, I really have a lot to do. Like there's so many, like here we are painting, we're fixing things, which I love to do, but I'm excited because we're creating something for the future. Whereas the old life, I've got to close that off. And I don't want to just close off and leave it hanging, like
Why not?
People. Because that's just not me. I don't want to leave people with stuff. There's, I like my mom. I'm not going to just.
Oh no, yeah, that's different.
Yeah, I'm not going to just like pack up and then leave things as they are. I want to make sure, things are clean, painted.
Oh yeah, I misunderstood. I thought you said,
that's what I mean.
I thought you said you didn't want to move on until you you didn't want to leave. I don't know. I misunderstood. I thought maybe
no, that's okay.
You had to meet and greet everybody and have a farewell, kumbaya.
Yeah, but that's, why though? Because that has been my past. That has been the time, like making the excuses. Well, I can't go. See, now in my head, I'm already here. Like I'm already here. So now going back, it's just like, now I've got to paint that room, and I've got to fix this before I go. And in my head, I'm so not motivated, but I've got to get myself motivated to do it because there's so much to do. And I've got to have closure in one area before I move on to the next.
Of course.
And so I've got to psych myself up. So my goal is to do as much as I can while I'm here, and then psych myself up to do the next phase of it. Good morning, Jonathan's on. Good morning, Jonathan. Pookie Cruz.
Pookie.
But I'm excited about this, but it took me years to get here, and I could sit there and harp on it and go, well, especially the last 2 years. Let me see, from 2000 to 2021. 2021 was a rough year for me. 2020 was great, but the end of 2020, like the last month, that's when things started to shift. So I could sit there and say, my God, 2 years, 2 years just down the drain, went down 2.5 years, really. I haven't moved on with my life. I've been stagnant. My choice. my choice. And I could sit there and get mad at other people for moving on with their lives and talk crap about them, which I did, and I'm not proud of it, but I'll admit that. For what? Because really I was just pissed off at myself for not moving forward, for not letting go, for not doing what it is that I need to do. Oh, Jonathan, thank you. You sent us stars. We haven't had that in a long time. Remember we used to have.
Thank you.
Remember your sister Connie used to send us stars.
I know, and now she's working. Now she got a job and shit and
And she can't
forfeited
listen.
ours. But you said something that was very important. You identified what time of year in the year that you felt like that. And remember, that was towards the holidays, right? It was a mixture of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's coming up. Am I correct?
Yeah, I don't think it had to do with the holidays though.
Well, sometimes we don't even realize it, but I get it because you felt that in 2021. And at the end of it, my mom died in the beginning of it. And I didn't feel anything like that. I was sad, grieving. But mine happened in 2022 after I came back from the Camino. So, and not that I was saying the holidays did that to you. I was trying to bring a point that yours happened around Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's. Mine was right after I just walked through 2 countries. And it knocked me on my ass. And where you were and where I were, they were caused by different scenarios of our lives, just like many other people. But it was caused. It was a cause and effect that knocked us on our ass.
Yep.
And so here I am coming from the Camino, and I self-isolate until the first week of October, from June. So everybody deals with their situations differently. And you just admitting that you hated that people were moving on and accomplishing their goals and you wasn't, that right there is like a double star, because when you can confront it and admit it, then you've already won the battle. And that's our message to the listeners and to anyone you forward this video to. We will have these thoughts, but it doesn't make you a monster. It was a moment. And then you woke up from it and you acknowledge that you had those awful feelings that only made you feel worse. It didn't make you feel better criticizing other people. But it happened, and that's what makes you human. And then for you to come back and say, oh my God, I was there, I felt blah, 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 blah. And then I hated everybody's growth. And then I came back and I was like, what the fuck? And blah, blah, blah. And here I am, sunshine and rainbows, because that is life. What you do is you don't repeat the pattern. And we're going to repeat some of it because we're human, and we're going to be, what the fucking it a lot, even to ourselves. The bottom line is, see what is beyond what you're allowing yourself to see, because it's just a curtain. Open the curtain, get from behind the curtain. Look at your life. Analyze your habits, your behaviors. See yourself for what you are. Marvelous, darling. And accept that we weren't always perfect in our times. We weren't the perfect parent, the perfect spouse, the perfect child. Shit, we weren't the perfect.
Who are you talking? I was. No.
We weren't the perfect reflection in the mirror. But we are. And that's what matters. Because while we're still in existence, there's time for growth. There's time to learn. So that is what you're saying. When you see yourself all broken in a mess, your reflection. But what I'm seeing is this natural beauty. Look at it. You are not seeing the wondrous, brilliant marvel that you were created to be. And things are going to happen. We have scars. We have wounds. We have black and blues that we think everybody can see, but they can't. Only you are picking out the uglies in you. That's why when I talk about loving your body exactly where it is, Badass Buddha's been on this thing and she's been very inspirational. And, to where it's like, okay, this isn't working. I got to redo something else. But what I discovered was in these last couple of weeks, because every time I travel, I throw myself off somewhere, is that I was so kind and gentle to my body. And I looked and I said, okay, I got to start walking. I finally bought my sneakers. And I was kind and gentle. I wasn't that bully. Why? Because if you keep saying it to yourself, I matter, I am enough, my body is beautiful, I am a guitar without the strings at the moment, but I'm sending that for repair. So you know what? When you feel bloated, when you got that, when your panties roll down your stomach, I'm not saying, oh, I hate this fucking stomach. No.
Oh, they roll down the fupa. That's annoying.
Yeah. I'm not saying that anymore. What I'm saying is like, oh my God, I think my panties are worn out. And I rub it, and then I bring them back up. I stick my hand in my pocket like a man scratching his balls, and I roll them back up. And you know what? Because that's what life is about. Life is about putting up your big girl panties, rising up from your bootstraps, and saying, oh my God, I am so ill prepared for this moment in my life, but fuck it, I'm doing it. And doing it, why? Because you believe you can, because
That's
you
right.
know you should.
And you
That
can.
is seeing beyond what you're allowing yourself
Yes.
to see for yourself.
And when you do that, you see, what do you see now? You see, it's like, look out at the horizon one day and then just like pick a spot that's pretty wide open, you know, that you could see pretty far. And then ask yourself, what am I seeing? What am I looking at? And then say, well, I see some trees. No, be more descriptive. Well, I see big trees. I see, fruit trees. I see in my yard here, black walnut trees all over the place. Okay, see more, see beyond. What else can you see? And then you start to notice more. It's the awareness. And what we're asking you to do is be aware of what is possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is possible for you? If you see beyond, what is it that you see now? And I'm gonna throw her out there because first off, I want to say hi to Wanda. And Wanda, I apologize. I was gonna text you yesterday to check on you because I know she's been going through some stuff, and I get so damn caught up in what I'm doing at the house all the time, like from one moment to the other. So I apologize for that, my dear, and I will text you today. So let me tell you, Liz, I'm going to put Wanda out there. So Wanda's a friend of mine. She lives in Georgia. She's a lovely soul, right? And as we got to talking and we had a conversation, we're so much alike and we get along so well. And we can definitely be the type of people to where we can assist one another if we need it, you know? And when I told her that I was going to move down to Tennessee and, that I'm looking for property and at some point want to have horses and blah, blah, blah. Wanda said, I'd move over by where you are. Now, this is like a friend of mine. Like we met through coaching and she probably 4 years ago would have never thought of that possibility of moving to Tennessee. Okay. But because the conversation with me and we chat, we talked about this, that what I was going to do, it put the possibility in her head. And then what would work for me? What would be my ideal? She doesn't want 5 acres like we have here. She wants something smaller. Okay, great. Would it be close to my house? Blah, blah, blah. So but she says, you're my Yankee. Yeah, I always call her my Southern Belle. So the thing is that sometimes your own possibilities and potentials open up space for other people. You don't have to do it by yourself. Sometimes you'll sit there and go, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this by myself. Like, this is a big one. But you know what? I'm going to put it out there. And then all of a sudden somebody says, oh my God, I've wanted to do that too. Maybe we can work out something. Maybe we can, have a conversation about this. Maybe we don't have to do it exactly together. That's why communication is also key. But here's the thing. Remember, we've told you this before. When you have an idea, when you have a dream, you have to be careful who you share it with because there are plenty of people that are dream killers. Why do you want to do that? That's stupid. You'll never make it. Do you know how many people would say that to most people who decide to do the Camino? I love talking about the Camino because it's a trek. oh, you can't do that. You're not physically fit. Gladiator Guru, how many people did you see on that trip that had children that weren't walking, like they weren't avid hikers that you could see, had like they had the muscly legs and the like, how many different types of people did you have on that trip? And you said to yourself as you're walking, that's fantastic, because I would have never imagined somebody like that showing up on here.
Listen, my first Camino 6.5 years ago, I went a month after I buried my husband. I was a nurse for 6 years in the house. I was just as paralyzed as my husband was, because I didn't have the freedom to get up and go and do anything.
Beautiful statement, observation.
So I see this Camino. I'm watching videos. I'm praying, Father God, I really want to make this Camino. Please, if it's for me to do, make it happen. It happened swiftly. Bought my tickets. Then I told people I was going, after I had secured my passport and my ticket. And because there's no coming back from that. And even my kids were, I can't believe you're going to do that. And blah, blah, we're going to be nervous. But that's your choice to be nervous. First of all, you should know me. I went. I had no idea where to exchange money. Nothing. All I knew was that I was flying into Madrid and I was taking the train to France. I got there. I got lost. Train left me. I had to wait 3 hours for the bus. That took me through the most beautiful countryside on that bus as the sun was setting to Pamplona. The next day, got on a bus, crossed over into France like in 30 minutes. And money exchange, going crazy. But I did it, and I walked alone, and I saw this family with the stroller, with the toddler, while the other infant was strapped up. And then the couple took times carrying the backpack, and the other one carrying the baby in the front in a smaller backpack. And they were always smiling. You know, those kids were tired, going up those mountains with that stroller. I met a Korean woman with her 8-year-old daughter, who heard coming on this Camino with her 8-year-old daughter caused her marriage to break apart. But she needed to do this Camino with her child. At that point, we don't know what's behind it. We don't know if the lady was sick. Maybe she couldn't do it. The thing is, they stopped with the bullshit around them. And
the limitations. They stopped the limitations.
Oh, well, because when you put more importance on places and things at this point, and I can't go because my house or my car or this and that, what are you saying? That you are not worthy. So when I say you don't value yourself, don't you go getting mad at me. And a lot of people do. I don't like when people say that. Then tighten up, buttercup, because that's what you're telling me. Those are the vibes you're putting off. When you're telling me, I could never do that. I have my house. I have to work. I have to do this. I have to do that. You are giving all the kudos, all the praise to places and things. Your job and your house and car, whatever else you may deem more valuable than yourself. So the Camino is something that you do. And Badass, real quick, you brought up about this one. This year, like I was saying, my mom passed. I'm figuring out what am I doing with my life again. Here I am again, right? Starting from zero. I had enough money to buy my round trip tickets. And I bought my backpack, and Facebook Marketplace. My niece drove me an hour away. I got it. Great price, everything. What did we do, Lord? You know what I did, everybody? I put a video. Walk the Camino with me, donate, and we'll have a cup of coffee together while I'm on the Camino. And half of that, the whole month I was getting donations, whether it was $5 or $50 from individuals. But every day there was some donation. Then every day I would do a video with shouting out the person who made a donation. And one of my friends I don't like that. That's ridiculous. That's like you're begging for money. Okay, we're not listening to that negativity right here, because other people couldn't say oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. Well, I'm okay with it, because you're okay with it. And you don't have to donate if you don't want. So never stop your dreams because of a bank account, because then what you're doing, you're valuing money over your heartbeat. Money comes, money goes. And if you're doing exactly what your heart is desiring, what you feel you prayed for, and it's happening, everything's not going to be all, pockets are not going to be lined, But take that step. Trust the process to take that leap of faith, and everything will open up for you. And that's how I live my life. I'm not with the bullshit where everything has to be in order. I have to have X amount of money. I have to know X amount of people. I'm a go. And let it do what it do.
There you go. Beautiful. Fantastic. Listen, we get one life. We get one life, and we have to stop making excuses. And every excuse that we make not only affects us, but it does affect people in our realm. And when I started to really come to terms with that, I started to think, I love people and I care very greatly about the people in my life. And I think to myself, if I'm not living my truth, if I'm not being honest with myself, if I'm lying to myself, then I'm also putting that energy out to everybody else around me. And what am I telling my children? What am I teaching, or what am I teaching my children? What am I teaching my sister or other family members or friends? What am I'm not looking for glory. I'm not looking for people to praise me and say, oh my God, that's fantastic that you did that. I'm not looking for that. In fact, I actually would prefer people not make a big deal. I would just like people to say, wow, if she can do that, I can do that. If she could just plop her children and 2 dogs into the car for a long distance car ride and just have no real idea, like they plan a little bit, but other than that, everything is kind of open into the sun. I want to be able to do that. You can. That's just it. Like when people say to me, oh no, I can't do that, you've already set your limitation. Why can't you do that? Well, I can't stand my children. My children are going to be asking all the time to stop.
Are we there yet?
Let me tell you something. When I had decided to go out west with the 2 kids, the first drive for the 3-week trip, at that point prior to, my youngest always did that. We'd be in the car for like 30 minutes. Are we there yet? I'm so bored. I want to get out. Right. So in my head, I'm going, how the freak am I going to do this? But I said, you know what? I sat her down and I said, it's an adventure. We're going to be in the car a lot. You do what you want to do in the car and have a good time with yourself. But we're going to drive like 7 to 8 hours stints and then stop at a destination. So do you know, she never once in that whole entire trip said to me, are we there yet?
Mm-hmm.
She did as a joke. Like she said it to me just because she's a scutch. That's how and I love her for that. She said it to me. And then I'm like, are you kidding me? She's like, I was just kidding. But then we came here and we had a longer drive. And I flat out said to her, I'm like, it's going to take us about 12 hours to get here with stops, gas stops and stretch stops. I said, I'm not going to keep stopping. I don't want to hear you. I'm not going to stop over and stay in a hotel to break up the trip. I just want to get there. She said, okay. Not once did she say it. So it's when we give those excuses, when we say, oh, well, they're going to be like this, lay it down for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, well, we have to travel with the dogs. What if I have to make a stop? What if you're making excuses. Do what you need to do to prepare, but also know that there's going to be the unexpected that's going to happen. And you prepare for the unexpected as well. Well, this is a possibility, but I'll be prepared for it. This is a possibility. I'll be prepared for it. But stop making excuses. If you say, I would love to go hiking, but I'm not, really in good shape enough to do that, then start getting yourself in good shape. Go on smaller hikes. See what your stamina is. See what you're capable of doing. We are more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. And we have, our bodies can repair and restore if we give it the chance. I have to share something because this was very cool. I had a client that signed up for the weight loss program. She did two weight loss programs with me. She did one back in the end of February for the 8 weeks, because I do them in 8 weeks now. Then she took her 4 weeks off, I think, and then she did it again because she had to have hip surgery. And she said, I am bound and determined to lose weight because the doctor told me I needed to lose weight before the hip surgery. And I am bound and determined to lose weight because I'm tired of being in pain. So the hip surgery is necessary, but I'm also tired of being overweight. I said, okay, not only that, but you're going to have a reduced inflammation. Your healing process is going to be faster. She's like, you think so? I said, I know so, because that's just the way it works. So I said, let's do this, right? So she did the 2 courses. She just finished her second course. And then a week later, she's finished the actual program. And then we had 2 more sessions after that. Then she literally went into surgery 4 days later. She had still been eating well. She wasn't doing the drops and stuff, but she was eating the foods that you eat in the program. I told her to continue doing that. She sends me a text yesterday. She's 1 week out of surgery. Actually, not even. It was a week. Yeah, she's 1 week out from yesterday. She sends me a text, and it was the most beautiful text I have read. She said, I went to go my follow-up. I got my blood work. They did my vitals, and they were all blown away at how great my vitals were. They were blown away at my blood work. They were like, I was moving around more than they expected. I had less pain than they had expected. At total loss of weight was something like 42 pounds or something.
Wow.
And she said, I feel I'm still in pain. She goes, but 1 week out. She's like, I blew everybody away. I blew the nurses away. I blew the doctors away. And it was because I lost the weight. Now listen, I just provided the service. It was up to her to still do the work. And
Absolutely.
she did it. She said, I would be better off being less weight for the surgery and in better shape. Now, there was a lot of programs she could have used, but the key piece with this program too was the fact that it's an anti-inflammatory protocol, and that's going to help her with her healing process. She was not eating processed stuff. So she said, I'm so excited. Basically, she said, I'm so excited that I've lost this weight and my healing process is good. And at some point, she's not at her goal weight, but once she's all healed with this in another 4 to 6 weeks, she's going to get back to me and decide if she wants to go back on the program again and finish it off. But I was so happy to get that text message because that's the beauty of it. So you set an idea and you say to yourself, I can do this. I'm not going to limit myself. She could have turned around and said, well, why bother? I'm in so much pain. I'm just going to get the surgery and then I'm just going to, whatever. She decided that her life was not enough as it was, that it was important to her for her to not just lose the weight, do the surgery, but also what's after, seeing beyond. She's looking at saying, after I get the surgery, and in the process of losing this weight, what am I going to do with my life now? Because she said to me, she always would lose weight because she was so physically active prior to. But she goes, but as the hip got worse, I became less active. She's like, so I know I can lose weight even faster once I become more physical. I said, then that's the goal, is to get you to heal fast, to get that hip working beautifully, and then be active. And she's older than I. And she said, that's what I want to be. I no longer want to play small in my life. And I was like, yes, that's seeing beyond and then seeing the new possibilities and potential.
But in all of that seeing beyond, make sure that you're not backsliding on your own words and then getting upset at others. And make sure that you are not lying to yourself. See, because a lot of people want to say that, but they're not there yet. And then they get disappointed and then they become something that they shouldn't be. So all of us, we must remind ourselves, am I walking in my truth to be the best me that I possibly can be? Remove the rose-colored shades off and see things for what they are. And let me tell you, just recently having conversations and I'm listening and I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like, do they not know that I know? And now they're coming to me with this story. I get blown away because it is people, it's your blood. It's, and they're just not walking in their truth, and they forgot. They forgot. I, Hello, I'm over here. I know, but I'm gonna let you flow with it, because at the end of the day, it is their demise that they're driving towards, not mine. I could only give gentle reminders. What I've learned in this last year is to take a step back from people who really don't want to walk their truth, who really don't want you to talk to them or teach them. They just want to repeat the same darkness to you.
Yes.
So what's the best thing I can do for you and me is back the fuck up. And I say it in that way because sometimes that's the force that has to pull me back, because my first inclination is to be of service.
Yeah, me too.
And because it's mostly your close friends and family that you started out with in this business, and then they're the ones that criticize you the most. Oh, shut up. You think you know it all. You think you know everything. Blah, blah, blah. So you gradually learn to say, this is not my issue.
Yes.
Let me leave it with them because it is for them. It is theirs. And then, so when you're seeing what it is, remember to see yourself as that most unique, brilliant individual that you are. And yeah, we're going to fall and we're going to lie to ourselves here, but it's not about how many lies you've told to yourself. It's about how many times you rise up and say, stop it. I can do this. Who the hell am I telling myself that I cannot do something, that I cannot be something, or that I've already did it, confusing my mind, and I believe I did it, and then I'm having a cheeseburger. You see what I'm saying? The lies we tell hinder our spirit more than the outside person.
Yep.
So
I
see
want to
yourself.
I want to add one thing. I know it's time for us to go, but I do want to add one thing that you said, because it is really, you do have to back the fuck up. And it's not, that's one piece of it. And that's the truth. Back the way away from those people that are living their lies. But it also gives you space to really evaluate yourself and look at yourself, because sometimes when we're around people that are not living in their truth, not walking in their truth and lying to themselves, we are right there with them. And that's the harsh reality, is that when you take that step back and you're looking at them, sometimes when what you're seeing is also the mirror reflecting back to you. That's why taking that step back, pulling away, is important, not just to clear your mind from those individuals and their problems, but also for you to face your own and say, okay, I know they're lying to themselves. Am I lying to myself? That was my big wake up call. And then really come to terms with, I've been angry, I've been annoyed, I've been triggered really easily. Why? Because I am not walking in my truth. I'm lying to myself. I'm sitting there focused on everybody else lying to themselves, but I too am doing the same thing. And I'm not here to help them. No more Captain Sabaho, because they don't want to be helped. They want to live in that. You know what? That's their path. That's their life. I'm not going to judge it. I have to focus on me. And if being around individuals affects my ability to focus on me and pull away from my own lies, then I have to pull away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And start from scratch and start over. And that's the beauty. That's where your potential comes in. That's where all the possibilities come in, is taking that step back, pulling yourself out and saying, you know what? I cannot focus on anybody else anymore. I have to focus on me. And who am I to judge? Who am I to say? I just got to worry about me. And then walk in your truth.
Walk it. That was beautiful. You know why? Because when you decide to back up, that may be in that moment, because, that's a moment that's past and you can never go back to. That you really come alive because you made a decision that is befitting you and your spirit. When you're not invited, okay. People are like, oh, I forgot, or they invite you late. When a door closes on a friendship and a business relation and what is it called?
Opportunity.
No, when people are a business venture, you know what? Don't be mad at the person who decided to take a different course, because we get like, oh, I can't believe they did that. That I did it. You're not realizing that your path is now open for you to develop the wonders of you. See, there's a solution for every problem. Why are we always finding problems for the solutions? And that's why you must see beyond what you see. You must feel beyond what you're feeling. So what? You feel butt hurt now because, and we've all been there. What is it, Laura? I can't even think of the word. But something you've been doing, you feel like it was ripped away, or you were left out in the cold from it. But all it was God saying, all right, it's time for a new direction. And this
Yeah,
is
this
a
isn't
solo
your
trip.
opportunity. Yeah, when you get laid off, you're talking about that? When
Yeah,
the
for
person-
anything. You know, once a door closes and where there was two or more present, God is saying it's solo time.
That's right.
It's time for you to venture out on your own. It's time for you to, or I've been giving you signs and you still been slacking, and now you got hurt. Your feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Your pride was wounded, which you shouldn't have pride. What you should have is desires, a gumption to want to do something. So your pride was wounded, you got hurt, you feel abandoned, you feel betrayed, you feel all of this, and then we're like marinating in that bullshit instead of saying, okay, I guess what I wanted to do prior to doing what I did with them is now I have the new opportunity. Find a solution to everything you consider a problem, because they're blessings. Everything is a blessing. It's how you look at it. You see problems, I see opportunities. So you must see beyond what you're allowing yourself to see in order to grow. Moving across the country, starting fresh, loving to be picking the flowers near outside the barn, painting bedrooms. This is your summer that she is choosing to do work and sweat and grind this summer, so that in the fall, leading towards the holidays, she can sit back and sip on that coquito and say, wow, what an opportunity that we got to do this in spring and summer. And now we're going to enjoy the winter. Right?
I'm up for sipping on the coquito. Yep.
And that's you. That's what you have decided to do. So you know what? Sometimes we got to say, okay, there's no mixing and being with friends. I can't be on the phone with you, Margie. We can't discuss this. We have that teleconnect, whatever, telepathy, where we don't need to discuss Viva while she's in Tennessee, because we already know. We created the titles together. We already have the idea of what we're going to come on and talk. But she has to take care of business. So her space needs to be respected. And that is walking in your truth. Yep. You're not cutting people out. You're just not, you have very narrow spaces of freedom on this project.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, that's it. That's a great way to end the show. So we are ending the month of possibilities and potentials, because next week we start taking action. So the whole month of August is taking action. We're going to be talking about, so Tuesday's show is Flip the Bitch, and Thursday's show is Now What? We're going to talk about waking the fuck up, doing it now, breaking the chains of conformity. We're going to be talking about how everything is connected. What else do we have here? We were on a roll when we were writing these. Breaking the glass ceiling. How bad do you want it? What oh my God, I can't even read my writing. Oh, what will you do to
you got this.
Get it. I can't even read my writing. What will you do to get it and be a walking mantra? And that's going to be the taking action month. Yes. Right. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So this is August will be the middle of the third quarter. And then we're going to end in September with gratitude. September is going to be the gratitude month. Why have a whole month of gratitude? Because gratitude,
people forget. People forget.
Layer. It's like the frosting on the cake. That's the part that once you've decided what it is that you want to do and what you're capable of doing, and now you're taking action, you're going to be grateful for every step. And we all want to make sure that you remember that. I'm grateful for this little piece. I'm grateful for this bad thing that happened because I learned from it. We want to constantly remind you of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited. This is going to be great.
I'm just excited to see what everybody's walking mantra is going to be in the last quarter. Because you have now and then you have all of September to make a decision to learn who the hell you are and show up every day dressed in that armor, like bring it.
Yep.
And that is how you're going to identify what is your walking mantra. So
yes.
Let's do this.
All right. All right. So listen, everybody have an absolutely great weekend. Make it fantastic. Put yourself out there. Start really looking at all these questions that we've asked you and get ready to decide what actions you're going to be taking. What is on that list that you're going to be taking action on for August.
Yes.
So thank you for being here. From the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.